It's Wednesday, the 14th of July, 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. In today's headlines, the federal and New South Wales governments outline big spending packages to help business and residents as the COVID-19 outbreak spreads beyond Sydney. Plus, business confidence takes a tumble in the states hit by the coronavirus, why the much-hyped dividend splash by banks in coming months might not eventuate, and the world is going nuts about almonds. Our lead story today, the Commonwealth and New South Wales governments have announced a major support program for Sydney businesses and residents, estimated to be worth $5 billion. After New South Wales recorded 89 community-transmitted coronavirus cases in the 24 hours till 8 p.m. Monday, the State Premier Gladys Berejiklian said it was unlikely the current lockdown would end this week. Under the program, there'll be support for businesses and non-profits with a turnover of between $75,000 and $50 million that have suffered a drop of 30% in revenue. Eligible companies will receive between $1,500 and $10,000 per week based on the level of their payroll payments. From week 4, the disaster payment for individuals will increase from $500 a week to $600 a week if a person has lost 20 hours of work or more. There's also money for mental health support packages, easier access to small business grants, and landlords won't be able to evict workers who have lost at least 25% of their wages due to the lockdown. What to say? The lockdown will be extended, homeschooling will go on, businesses will suffer, the mental health of people will be affected. It's a mess, and vaccination is the only answer. In overseas news, Wall Street fell overnight from record levels after figures showed that prices paid by US consumers during June jumped by their most since 2008. Every time there's information that suggests prices are higher, the market wobbles, fearing a move to higher interest rates. French President Emmanuel Macron has introduced new rules that don't allow anyone to enter a bar, restaurant or cafe from next month unless they've had a COVID jab. It triggered about 1.7 million bookings for a vaccine in a 36-hour period. Ireland, Portugal and Greece are doing something similar. It comes as the number of new cases of COVID rises quickly across many parts of Europe. And the US will warn American companies of the increasing risks operating in Hong Kong, according to the Financial Times, upping pressure on Beijing over its crackdown on the financial centre. The business advisory alert follows President Donald Trump rolling back special trade privileges for the region last year and is sure to upset China. Locally, business confidence took a hit last month as lockdowns and restrictions in Victoria, Queensland and New South Wales dampened spirits, but levels remained well above long-term averages. The outlook is a little less assured with the Sydney lockdown now likely to be extended. The National Australia Bank survey showed that while confidence levels in New South Wales and Queensland took a hit, it also fell in most other states. Business conditions also dropped during the month. Fortunately, the experience over the past 18 months has been that confidence returns quickly once lockdowns end. National Australia Bank last night confirmed it had held discussions with Citi about the sale of Citi's consumer business, though a deal is far from done. In April, Citi said it would leave the local market. It's the 5th largest issuer of credit cards in Australia, behind the Big Four. NAB said it regularly assessed opportunities to acquire businesses that support its core banking products. The West Australian government wants to create a 15,000 square kilometre renewable fuels hub in the Goldfields Esperance region. The government hopes the hub will become one of the biggest in the world and will produce wind and solar power, green hydrogen and ammonia. Meanwhile, the new boss of the Australian energy market operator wants the electricity grid across the nation to be able to run solely off solar and wind generation by 2025. The highly ambitious target, which isn't realistic, will force the country to integrate more renewables into the power system. A casualty of the COVID outbreak in Sydney could be bank shareholders. Ahead of the current wave of coronavirus, banks were expected to return billions of dollars to shareholders via share buybacks or dividends, but bank analysts are now warning that lenders might not be as generous in coming months because they'll need to set aside more for bad loans. The major bank share prices have been weaker in recent sessions, with Commonwealth Bank yesterday slipping back below $100 a share. And the world is going nuts about nuts, well, almonds at least. Select Harvests said there was strong growth in demand across all its markets, particularly its traditional almond markets in China, India and Europe. Almonds are known for their nutritional value, and Select expects to ship around 3.16 billion pounds of the nuts in the year to the end of July, 23% more than a year earlier. The US dominates the production of almonds, growing around 79% of world output, followed by the European Union at 9% and Australia at 8%. There you go. You learn something new every day. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. Make sure you hit follow so you get it every morning. And if you'd like more detail and more stories, search for our longer daily podcast called Fear and Greed. We also release a daily interview. Today we're talking to National Australia Bank Chief Economist Alan Oster about the hit to business confidence. I'll be back later with the afternoon market report. I'm Sean Aylmer. Have a great day.